Happy New Year! I thought I'd take this time to count down my top 10 favorites of 2024. This piece was originally part of a vintage tattoo challenge that I hosted, and then it became part of the Spring Renew Challenge, one of the unique antique challenges. I'll be sure to post all the links for all the videos that you see in this video. Sometimes a piece sits for a while and you just have to give it a new look, and I'm happy to report that this piece did sell. I used lots of Iron Orchid Designs products in this makeover. Transfers, paint inlays, molds, you name it. This next piece is a real trash to treasure. It was literally found in my neighbor's trash. So with her blessing, I took it out and I gave it a new look using the Persephone mold and also the Felicity mold. I kept the original hardware and also used the lattice rose stamp, as well as the kindest regards stamp. This was a fun one, and I got my color inspiration from a picture I saw on Pinterest. Number 8 was a total experiment. I wanted to try something to use a carnival glass technique. So I didn't really know what I was doing. You'll have to check out the video to see what all the trial and error was about. But basically I used Dixie Belle's Chameleon Wax in the 3 different colors, and then I used Dixie Belle metallic paint over top of that. And that was the secret ingredient that I needed. This next piece was both a custom order and part of the Vintage Revival Challenge, another unique antique challenge hosted by Crystal from the Crafty Creech DIYs and Furniture Flips. The client wanted a whitewash effect, and you saw the before picture. She also wanted the doors to be glass. So considering I had just done that in my own kitchen a while back, I felt pretty confident about cutting up those cabinet doors and adding some trim and making it look like it was always like that. The client chose the hardware for it, and I sprayed all the hardware and those little IKEA knobs because I felt like they were a little bit more in keeping with that door. So it was one of my favorites. Number 6 was a favorite because I stepped out of my comfort zone a bit. This was also for last year's New Year challenge. And that's what it was all about, doing something different. And again, that was from Crystal and also co-hosted by Dar from DIYs by Dar. I really enjoyed working on this piece. It was decoupage paper from Dixie Belle, and then the cowhide was fabric that I got from Amazon. And I used some stencils and I painted out the decoupage paper and did some faux wood grain on the top and did a little rust patina on the handles. So overall, I just really loved that whole Western style because the rust patina kind of gave it that little touch of turquoise that you see so often in Western style. And I've just been loving the cowhide. So anyway, it was a quick sell, and I'm happy about this piece as well. Here's the inspiration for the piece in the number 5 spot. This was a request from a client. She had this table, and this is what it ended up, my interpretation, based on her room. This was my adaptation to fit her table and her decor. Doing custom orders sometimes makes you try things you wouldn't have tried otherwise. And then there are all those projects that are floating in your mind. My mother was a quilter, and she always would say she would try a different pattern to get it out of her system. So that's what I do with furniture pieces and styles. Sometimes I try something different just to get it out of my system. Speaking of getting things out of your system, these things get in my brain. This next one, number 4, and the one that follows are both things that I just had in my head. Now, this is kind of a Turkish design. I'm a brand ambassador for Made by Marley decoupage paper, so I used Made by Marley paper to make this piece happen. And this was also kind of inspired by my mother and her quilts. I thought about quilt patches as I was piecing all those little pieces of decoupage paper together. This is, I think, a video to watch that kind of follows my travels with this piece. Overall, I was really pleased with the result. Number 3 was another one that was kind of stuck in my head, and I wanted to make a girl out of the stamp from Iron Orchid Design, the Lady Charlotte, and then also the Made by Marley decoupage paper I used to create her dress. As soon as I saw that stamp, and I had this blank canvas of a shiffer robe, then I knew that Lady Shiffer Robe, which is what I call this piece, had to happen. She's one of my faves, and she's currently for sale at my spot at Cosmic Charlie's Coffee House in Bellwood, Pennsylvania. So if you're local, come check it out. In the number 2 spot is another custom order. This client had this piece she wanted done, and she loved ferns, dragonflies, green, and other than that, she pretty much let me do what I wanted to with it. We talked about the design, but then I had a design epiphany that kind of changed. So I was trying to do a little too much. So I ended up getting this decoupage paper. It's a redesign with Prima paper, and I got 2 sheets of it and kind of modified it to fit these doors. And then I just kind of went a little crazy with the dragonfly mold and stamp and the kindest regards and lots of wax and also the fern stamp and the fern mold. So I had a lot of fun with this. I redid the top to be a whitewash kind of top. Very pleased, very, very pleased with the results on this. And I believe the client is having me do another custom for her soon. So I'm excited about that. Finally, in the number 1 position, my favorite piece of the entire year is a piece I did for my friend Lauren. Her husband passed away last year. She moved from her home in the country to a new home closer to me. And I took a photo one day when we were laying out and swimming at her pool in the country, and she had her laundry on the line. And I just loved that photo and never dreamed it would become a furniture piece whenever I took it. But that's what ended up happening. And she loved it. I loved it. It was kind of a sentimental moment. And it really looks great in her new home. So she'll always have that memory. Not that she would forget her home in the country, but also that day that we shared. So it's a memory of her home, friendship, lots of things that come into the love of this piece. So it's my favorite for the year. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments and which one is your favorite. And remember, the links for all of these videos will be in the description box. As we close out the year, I only need a few more subscribers to get to 3,000. So maybe help a girl out, and then this year I'm confident that we'll reach 5,000 and beyond. I wish the very best for you in the coming year. Stay well.